What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning in for another edition of the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels. What up, what up, what up, what up, what up? What's going on, friends and family? I appreciate y'all for continuing to tap in with me. First, let me say that I apologize for the technical difficulties, but as you can see, we are getting things back together. So there's going to be some changes over here on the Millionaire Morning Show. And I want to give you guys some updates. So there will be some modifications. There might be a couple of different bumps over the next couple of days, but we are back. We are back. So you will see the TJ tomorrow. You will see a lot of different things. I had started and ended the show by mistake, but again, we're going to get back to the normal thick of things, and we are back in the studio. So occasionally you will see me do a live stream out there. Hopefully my audio is correct. What's going on, friends? Yes, we still teaching it up, but again, we're having technical difficulties because we're trying to get everything set back up. But we here. We are here. So y'all got to bear with me today on how things are going, because we getting back into the normal swing of things, but then we got some updates and had to update the new computer and all of that type of stuff, but we here. So what's going on, friends? How y'all feeling today? How is everybody feeling today on the Millionaire Morning Show? Did you know that Chicago Flips Red Lady is running for mayor? Yes, I did. Are we going to discuss AP dropping the normie timepieces? I don't know nothing about that. Are you going to campaign for her? Yeah, man. Yeah, we in the building. We in the building. Y'all already hitting me with the questions, the Q&As, the questions and answers. Your car, if it's anything that I missed from the previous live stream that I dropped by mistake, y'all let me know. Y'all keep me in the loop. I do want to acknowledge a couple different people that supported the platform. Spencer Campbell. Shout out to Spencer Campbell. I appreciate y'all. Mike That Dude. Thank you, Mike That Dude. I will say that I am happy to be back in Detroit. And this feels weird, to be honest with you. It feels weird. It really does. It feels really weird to be in here instead of being in there. And so I almost didn't even do it today. I almost just went out there and said, hey, guys, nope, skip it. We just going to have to go ahead and knock it out and get uncomfortable and do what we got to do. So, yeah, man, it feels really, really weird to be back in here. There's no place like home. Feeling good. Had a wonderful time yesterday. My daughter came in safely from Arizona. Welcome back home from Brazil. I'm happy to be back home. Listen, y'all, of all of the things, Delta is going to return the flight cost back to your credit card. Not sure how much. Yeah, man, all right. So let me just give y'all the synopsis of what was going on in Brazil. For the bag chasers and the Patreon members, you guys will get the updates on there on the vlog, because we are vlogging every day, and the only place that the vlogs are going to drop is on the Patreon. We also have a Patreon live stream this week, so I will let you guys know on the next vlog that I drop. Hopefully I drop it tomorrow. I'm going to drop it tomorrow morning. We will be letting you guys know what's going on with the Patreon live stream, so I'm going to drop that this week, the date. So if y'all not part of the bag chasers, make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description. But let me just talk about Brazil really quickly, all right? I kind of gave y'all a little bit of insight last week during After Hours and on the Millionaire Morning Show. But why they be fronting on our women here in the United States of America? I ain't even going to say them. Why do we front on our women in the United States of America? That's what I'm trying to understand. What's the obsession with people in other countries? because I was all over. I did not do any work really on Friday outside of live streaming. Saturday, I did no videos. I dropped no videos on Saturday. Sunday, I only dropped a couple that was already scheduled. So I took 3 days, and that's an anomaly for me. That is an anomaly for me. I took 3 days, and it wasn't that I wasn't working. It was more or less about I was rescheduling things and reconfiguring things, and I was trying to prepare myself to not only get back in the studio. I was streamlining stuff. I was working with the crew. And so I've been changing a lot of things, and it's a lot of changes that's going to be implemented this week. All right. So I took 3 days to just work on stuff outside of content. But in that time, I also had the opportunity to go all over Brazil. And hopefully, again, y'all let me know if my audio is right. I think my audio was cool. But I had the opportunity to just go over Brazil and view stuff and go to the beach and go to the hot spots and Copacabana, and I played some poker and all of that stuff, right? And so I'm all over the city in addition to going to my daughter's competition. I don't see what y'all see. I don't see what y'all see. Was the weather great? Yep. Did I see lizards? Yep. I don't want that to be my norm. I'm not interested in lizards. Why do they try to make it seem like all of these women outside of the United States of America is so much better than the women that's inside of the United States of America? I don't see, even just from optics, just from looking. Yeah, of course you're going to have the chicks that look good and this and that or whatever. But I'm going to be honest with you. A lot of the women that look better was the ones that were visiting. It wasn't even the ones that was native. Them women was just, they was regular like every other woman. They were regular. They were regular like every other woman. I just don't get it. And some of the ones that y'all probably would exalt, they had BBLs. I guess that's where they get the whole Brazilian butt lift thing from. I don't see it. I don't see what y'all seen or why people keep on coming. That's why y'all got to see stuff for yourself, bro. Y'all got to see stuff for yourself. I know we try to make it seem like, oh man, outside of the U.S., man, the internet ain't as good. The money ain't as good. The people ain't as good. The resources getting money there, like the industries, no way. All of the opportunity, all of the money, all of the women, all of the everything is here, bro. And if you're complaining about the fact that, oh man, it just costs too much, then I think we got bigger problems on our hand. But I'm not, bro. I don't see it. I just don't see it, bro. I don't see it. I don't see what the infatuation is. I don't see what the, oh my God, Brazilian women and all of this stuff. I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm missing it. And somebody got to help me to understand why I'm off. I don't get it. I couldn't wait to get home. I couldn't wait to get home. I love going to other places. The most fun that I have is traveling across the U.S. and actually seeing people in real life. That's the most fun that I have, is traveling around here. I can't wait to go to Vegas. I can't wait to go to Memphis. I can't wait to get back to San Diego. I want to go visit Hawaii. Never been to Hawaii. I can't wait to go and see this and that. So I'm just happy. I'm just happier to be here. I don't want to move nowhere else. So that's where my thoughts are. I was a little jet lagged last night. So, we in the building. All right, y'all ready to get started with the show? Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. It is so weird. I'm trying to figure this out. Big Dub says, top of the AM. It's my birthday today. There's no better way to start the morning. Appreciate you, bro. The soon-to-be billionaire morning show. Shout out to Big M Dub. Happy birthday, Big Dog. Happy birthday, Big M Dub. Yeah, we getting away from that StreamYard stuff. I was having audio issues and all of this stuff. I can't do it, bro. And I'll use that when I go out of town and, you know, the internet may not be as stable or something like that. But we just going to have to figure it out right here. We got to figure it out. All right? Make sure y'all hit a like. Again, join the Patreon. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. All right, let's see if we can make it shake, make it do what it do, or if we're going to have any kind of problems. What up, y'all? What up? And I will be going if there's anything that you guys want me to cover for tomorrow. All right, I see some people saying AP watches. I'm going to type that up. I'm going to throw that in my notes. So I want y'all to let me know what subjects y'all want me to cover throughout the week. And the reason that I'm saying that is because when I'm in this room, all right, just giving y'all a little bit of heads up. When I'm in this room and I do these shows from, some people like to call it the ESPN room, it has to be more produced, all right? When I'm out there, I could just wing it and figure it out. It's less produced, but the audio ain't as right. We have to go through and do audio correction after the show. We got to do a whole lot of other stuff, right? So when I'm in this room, now that we're back on the Millionaire Morning Show, the subjects are pretty much the subjects they produce. It is what it is. So if it's something that you want me to cover, you're going to have to either let me know in the comments after the show, or you're going to have to let me know in the comments on this. And I'll mark it down and I'll earmark it for tomorrow or the next day. Because I want the audio to be right. I'm tired of it being low. I'm tired of stuff being off. Everything got to be right, right? And let me just give y'all a little bit more insight for beginning to the show. So on a vlog that I'm dropping of me recording a lot of the different stuff in Brazil and stuff, I made a declaration that I wanted to be the best content creator that I could possibly ever be. The best content creator I could possibly ever be. In order for me to do that, I got to go to the next level. I gotta give you better content. I got to give you better live streams. I have to produce this better. We have to have better audio. We got to have better production, everything. Better shows is coming to Room 9, all of that. All right. Oh, yeah. And I had to get rid of that gray. I had to get rid of the gray. I'm sorry, ladies. I had to get rid of the gray. I'm so apologetic. I couldn't do it. I genuinely couldn't do it. I'm off that. All right. All right, y'all. Let's see what we got popping off. Again, make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. Let's start off with Frontier. We're going to start off with the first part of the show. All right, let's get into it.
This dramatic video appearing to capture the moment a Frontier Airlines flight hit a trespasser on the runway as it was about to take off for Los Angeles.
I heard like a loud boom. People started screaming.
The collision happening last night just after 11 p.m. Frontier Flight 4345 was on the runway at Denver International in the process of taking off when, according to the airport, a pedestrian jumped the perimeter fence and was hit just 2 minutes later while crossing the runway.
We just hit somebody. We have an engine fire.
According to the airline, smoke was reported in the cabin and the pilots aborted takeoff.
There does appear to be human remains on the runway.
Pilots deploying emergency slides to evacuate the plane.
Stay low, jump.
Videos from on board showing the chaotic aftermath, passengers sliding down.
People were just crying and grabbing on their loved ones and hugging their loved ones.
The Airbus A321 was carrying 224 passengers and 7 crew members. 12 people reporting minor injuries and 5 people were transported to local hospitals.
It's unclear how this person made it through, but this is what the perimeter looks like. A fence with barbed wire and still more than half a mile away from the nearest runway.
You can't blame this one on Frontier. You can't blame this one on Frontier. I know that we like to figure out, and isn't it ironic that in this situation, it comes on the heels of Spirit Airlines going away. And let me give Spirit its credit. The first thing is Spirit had an impeccable, and when I say impeccable, they had an impeccable safety record. Like, one of the things that content creators were saying across the internet was they had a record of 0 fatalities, like no major issues, none of that stuff. And I thought about that when I get on a plane. It's funny how your subconscious starts to play tricks on you when you listen to stuff that happens on social media. And then I jumped on a plane. And then it was an emergency situation, but the emergency situation had nothing to do with the plane itself. It was a passenger on the plane, which is the reason why we got delayed to come back to the United States from Brazil. It was an emergency on the plane. And so you start to think about that, right? And then I started to think about my friends that I stream with on Room 9. And, you know, they tell us this is why we here. This is the reason why we got to do this. This is the reason why we got to do that. And now it's starting to make more sense, right? When I see people complaining and I see people say, oh, we need to hurry up and take off. We need to do this. We need to do that. I'm a little bit more relaxed now. And the reason that I'm a lot more relaxed is because it only take one mistake. It only take one issue, one problem, one troublesome situation to throw the whole thing out of whack. And next thing you know, your life is in danger. So it's so many things that have to go right. And even though you're more likely to pass away in a car than you are on a flight, I'm just a little bit more chill. Even when I started to get bothered, I was starting to get a little bit bothered. And I was like, man, I just want to get home. And, you know, it was a 9.5-hour flight that I was looking forward to. And then it was delayed like an hour and some change. And they had to rebook me on another flight, which meant that I couldn't get the seats that I had previously selected. I'm just chilling. I'm chilling. I'm slow motion. I don't want no problems. I want everything to go well. I'm chilling. But this one you can't put on. You can't put this one on the airline. So although people like to make it seem like just because you are a budget airline, you can't put the safety problems, because if a person trespasses, jumps over a fence, runs into the runway at dusk or dawn or whatever, and is low visibility, and they run a half a mile to a mile in front of the plane, and then they get sucked into a jet engine, which is a crazy way to imagine living your whole life. Imagine living your whole life and you grow up to be an adult and somebody raised you and they sent you to school and they paid for your clothes and they fed you and they had great expectations for you. And then you wake up and you find out they've been sucked into a jet engine because they trespassed onto a property. It's a horrible way to go. A very tragic and a horrible way to go.
To have them walk out onto a runway, it's exceedingly rare. It happens in some countries more frequently, but not here in the U.S.
Back in 2020, a man managed to walk on the wing of a passenger jet. And in 2024, authorities found a passenger dead inside a plane engine in Salt Lake City after he breached an emergency exit onto the airfield. While the remaining passengers finally made it to LAX on a new Frontier flight, tonight the affected runway now back in operation, as Transportation Secretary Duffy warns no one should ever trespass on an airport.
I mean, it's just bonkers. I don't know why anybody would actually do that.
And Liz Kreutz joins live from Denver International Airport. Liz, any updates on the injured passengers?
Yeah, Jose, officials say that 4 of the 5 passengers hospitalized have been released. We don't know the condition of that 5th person. Authorities have also not released the identity of that trespasser or said anything at this point about a potential motive. Jose.
Developing story out of Denver right now. A Frontier Airlines jet hitting and killing a person who was on that runway during takeoff. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy saying that the person had breached an airport security fence before trespassing onto the tarmac. The plane was evacuated evacuated, and preliminary reports say that 5 people were taken to the hospital. You're looking at that evacuation right there. Our Andrew Dimbert has been following the story all morning long. Andrew, this is terrifying and tragic all at the same time. What do we know right now about how that person got on the runway?
Yeah, big question, right? Because think about the Denver International Airport. It is massive. For example, where this happened on the runway, it's about a mile away from the nearest terminal. So some of the first questions overnight, was this a airport employee, perhaps a construction worker? And given that this happened in the middle of the night, near midnight at around 11:30 p.m., and there was low visibility, those were some of the first questions. But we've now learned that authorities confirm this was a pedestrian who has not yet been identified, but they say jumped the fence around the airport and then was struck and killed only 2 minutes later. This person was also tragically sucked into one of the plane's engines, causing a fire. You know, we heard audio from the cockpit. You could hear the shock from the pilots telling air traffic control, we hit somebody walking across the runway.
That doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. Am I off? All right. So let me back up for a minute.
Any updates on the injured passengers?
Yeah, Jose, officials say that 4 of the 5 passengers hospitalized have been released. We don't know the condition of that 5th person. Authorities have also not released the identity of that trespasser or said anything at this point about a potential motive. Jose.
Developing story out of Denver right now, a Frontier Airlines jet hitting and killing a person who was on that runway during takeoff. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy saying that the person...
All right, so look at the gap. Look how big the airport is. So they saying that it was either a half mile or a mile between between where he jumped the fence and where he was sucked into the plane. All right.
Breached an airport security fence before trespassing onto the tarmac. The plane was evacuated, and preliminary reports say that 5 people were taken to the hospital. You're looking at that evacuation right there. Our Andrew Dimbert has been following the story all morning long. Andrew, this is terrifying.
Andrew got some crazy hair too. Let me say that.
Tragic all at the same time. What do we know right now about how that person got on the runway?
Yeah, big question, right? Because think about the Denver International Airport. It is massive. For example, where this happened on the runway, it's about a mile away from the nearest terminal. So some of the first questions overnight, was this a airport employee, perhaps a construction worker? And given that this happened in the middle of the night, near midnight at around 11:30 p.m., and there was low visibility, those were some of the first questions. But we've now learned that authorities confirm this was a pedestrian who has not yet been identified, but they say jumped the fence around the airport and then was struck and killed only 2 minutes later.
So if the fence itself, all right, so hold on, let me back up for a minute. Let me see something.
People reporting minor injuries, and 5 people were transported to local hospitals.
It's unclear how this person made it through, but this is what the perimeter looks like. A fence with barbed wire and still more than half a mile away from the nearest runway.
How did they get to the nearest runway within 2 minutes? Somebody is giving bad information. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? You got sucked into a turbine and you wind up being killed or whatever. But how do you, if it's at least a half a mile from the nearest runway, how do you jump a fence and then get sucked into the turbine within 2 minutes? You know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of this is just, it just doesn't make sense. Marie says this happens more frequently on railroad tracks. I can understand that. So the people really don't understand. A lot of times these news reporters, they don't really get it, but it's okay.
Jumped the fence around the airport and then was struck and killed only 2 minutes later. This person was also tragically sucked into one of the plane's engines, causing a fire. You know, we heard audio from the cockpit. You could hear the shock from the pilots telling air traffic control, we hit somebody walking across the runway. And this was just as the plane was getting ready to take off. Of course, that takeoff was aborted. Fire crews responded, immediately put out that fire, and then everyone on that flight was evacuated. Jim.
Yeah, it's important to note that that Frontier pilot immediately immediately stop that plane because that would have been very, very dangerous with that fire going on. What about the other people who were on board? Because we know that I think it was the transportation secretary who said 5 had to be taken to the hospital.
Just an absolutely terrifying ordeal. Again, that this flight was late at night. You know, you've been on red-eye flights. You kind of want to just sleep. It's quiet. It's nice. And then all of a sudden, a big boom and then a fire. So it was very terrifying for these passengers here. They described the moment of impact and then seeing those flames. Now, some of those passengers were able to board another flight, get to LAX this morning, where our Los Angeles affiliate KABC spoke to some of them, and hear one passenger describe how this quiet red-eye flight instantly turned into tragedy.
All of a sudden, like I thought we got hit for a second because it was like kind of like a loud thud, and then I was like, "What happened?" I looked to my right, and like I'm on the inner row, so I see my 2 fellow passengers, and like their faces are just lit orange.
They say that 12 people were hurt. How were 12 people hurt from this tragedy / incident that happened at the airport? I'm confused. Honestly, I'm genuinely confused how 12 people were hurt because they heard a loud thud, and then 5 people were taken to the hospital. The only way that they could have got injured was from when they jumped down, maybe when they was doing that. It's a big giant slide. How are they injured? That don't even make sense to me. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing, Remington. Lawsuit money. We got to change these courts. We got to change the courts so where people could basically like jump down a giant slide and then all of a sudden they saying that they injured and they hurt, they got to go to the hospital. We so weak. We so weak, bro. We so weak. Coming from these other countries, you know what I realized? Because, like, for example, I looked it up, and Brazil supposedly has some form of a universal health care. Nobody uses it. Nobody uses it. I ordered myself a premium vehicle, a black car. It was just a basic Volkswagen. Nothing popping. You couldn't get no Uber truck or nothing like that. The people is just, they figure it out on their own. They in favelas. They don't really have no police presence there. The people drive like maniacs on the highway. And if you get injured, you just get injured. They got the scooters. They got the motorcycles in between all of the cars. And there is no real safety precautions. Nobody is enforcing the law like they supposed to. And people just doing whatever they want to do. Honestly, people just figuring it out. I've come to the conclusion that here in the U.S., people are just spoiled. People are spoiled. The slightest nick, you got to go to the hospital. The slightest cut, oh my God, you got to go to the hospital. We have become super weak in this country. Honestly, people are so weak. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's happened to our culture and our society, but we have definitely lost the plot. How do 12 people have to go to get injured? 5 have to go to get transferred to the hospital. Anton, what parts of Brazil did you go to? I was primarily in Rio de Janeiro. So all of the surrounding areas around that's where I was at inside of Brazil. And like I said, I'm just like, it's cool going to these other countries. I think I'm over it. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I'm going to be honest with you. I think I'm over it. I genuinely think I'm over it. I'm over international travel. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to travel internationally. But I am over international travel. I plan on going to all of the spaces. I plan on going to Spain, Barcelona. Most of the places across the world, I have no problem going to visit. But if you're going because you think that it's going to be a better environment, in my opinion, I think that you're missing the plot. I think you're missing the plot. Part of it is because I think that there are beautiful, awesome cultural places that you can visit here. But I honestly believe that people are just obsessed with other places. I do. I think that most people are so obsessed with anything that is foreign that they no longer care about what happens inside of the United States. I think the whole obsession with foreign is messing us up big time. Somebody says, so Anton, you would rather travel around the United States? Honestly, I would rather just be here. I like where I live. I like my city. I like my environment. I like the homes that I've cultivated. I like the cars that I got here. I love my life here. And then if I have to go somewhere, then I would prefer to go to Vegas or San Diego or something like that. Something where, I can get some good internet and some comfortability and not up in my life. And then going outside of the country is like traveling across the United States of America, living in hotel rooms or Airbnbs. That junk it get old. It get old. And I like visiting places I've never been before in the U.S. when I go. I like going to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is beautiful when you start to look at all of the bridges and the architecture and how everything is carved out of a mountain and all of that stuff. And then you go down to somewhere down south, and I like visiting Mississippi, and I like going to Tampa, and I like everywhere. I like all of the places. So, it's a bunch of places that I haven't even visited in Detroit yet. I discover new places all the time. Most of y'all, I would venture to say that there's a lot of people that have not visited or know. It's people that go and live in their own cities and they know nothing about their city. They don't know nothing about the culture. They don't know nothing about the hot spots. They don't know where to go to really get it popping. If you ask them where to go to eat, they're going to name just a chain restaurant. Most people don't know nothing about their own city. They don't know nothing about their own city. So I'm just not as impressed with as everybody else. You know what I'm saying? Josh McLean says, good morning, Chasers. Yo, Time Dog, Anton, you still doing coaching calls? I am. I'm still setting it up. I got you, big dog. Josh, send me an email. Wesley Turner says, we got the Millionaire Morning Show soundboard back. We sure do. Hold on. I got you. We in the building. I forgot all about the soundboard. Wesley, I forgot all about. It's been so long since I've used it. I didn't even know that it was there. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says, thoughts on Chris Brown album, Grown and Mature? I have not listened to it yet. I've listened to the one song, Fallen. You want to know what I've been listening to? The new album that because I could really only rap on one album at a time. I got to sit with it. I got to live with it. I've been listening to Money Man, bro. I've been listening to Money Man. That's all I've been listening to is Money Man. And so a lot of people don't know nothing about Money Man. I know he way off y'all stuff. If you're not a mainstream artist, it probably is not something that's going to resonate with you. But that's all I've been listening to is Money Man this weekend. Let me see what all I've been listening to. I've been listening to Money Man. And what else did I get? New library. I downloaded a couple tracks off of AZ's album, The Do or Die 3, and Money Man, Break the Rules or Stay Broke. That's all I've been talking about. That's all I've been listening to is Money Man. I just been on it. Playing it in the crib, all of that stuff. So, a lot of people may not be familiar with Money Man, but I like Money Man. He real. Real life PJ says, good morning, AD. Good to see you back in the studio. We working some things out. You know what I'm saying? Just Christian Black in the building says, what up, though? What up, just Christian Black? Question, AD. Did you go to Mobs? Not that I'm aware of. What up, Casual Churn? No, I don't remember that. You know what I'm saying? He said tap into Payroll Giovanni. I put y'all up on Payroll. Shout out to Payroll. Shout out to Pay Face in the building. TS Car Wash and Detail Service says you saw Money beefing with Adam 22. Thoughts on CB Fallen song? AZ So High song is fire. I hate to say this and I hate to sound like this because I'm going to sound like I don't care. But to be honest with you, when it comes to other content creators right now, and maybe I'll have more of an interest in what everybody else is doing, I'm not checking for nobody else's content. I don't. Sorry about that, y'all. Working stuff out, still trying to figure it out. But I want to go into local stories. I want to deep dive in what's happening in the neighborhoods. I want to go into local politics. I want to talk about what's happening on a national level. I want to go into international conversations and politics and all of that type of stuff. And so I'm just really disconnected with the bickering back and forth, honestly. Like I'll give you another example. Y'all want to know another example? Another thing that I'm familiar with, or that everybody was sending me. Everybody was sending me this and they mama. Everybody was sending me a conversation about Abba. Is that his name? Abba. Which one is Preach and which one is Abba? I think Abba is the taller one, the lighter skinned one, the brown one, and Preach is the darker skinned one, right? Everybody been sending me conversations about Abba and some girl that they said that he got pregnant and stuff like that. And I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I feel like it's not my business. It has nothing to do with me. That sounds like a personal issue between him and whoever it is that he in a relationship with. I don't care. Now, I know that other people may have an interest in finding out what's going on because they may be arch nemesis, but that's between them. I don't care about that. That's them. I genuinely, and I know I could do it and I could get 1 million views on it and make a bunch of money from it, but I don't care. That's not my business. That ain't nothing for me to touch. None of that, bro. It's just not my business. I feel like if she was a public figure or something like that, I haven't even watched it. But if she was a public figure or something like that and they was creating content together and it was like a panel and they were debating about something or whatever, then that's a different conversation. But as far as like that's I don't do exposés, I don't do girlfriends, I don't do pregnancies. You know what I'm saying? From regular, everyday type of content. I just think, I've used to, right? But I think that I should be growing as a content creator. So it just doesn't make any sense to me, bro. So pray for him. Honestly, God bless him. I hope everything works out for him. I hope that, the situation get resolved and that it's no fallout to where anybody messes any money up or nothing like that. And I hope that everybody can amicably come together and everybody is cool. God bless them. Let me read a couple of more super chats and then we're going to get into some real stuff. Josh McLean says, say less, God willing, I'll get up with you after I pay off all of my debt in Q4. Cool. That's what's up. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. I just don't see the biggest content creators. If I'm targeting, right? Because once I hit past 1 million views, I start reevaluating things. And if I'm targeting, I don't want to say no names, but if I'm looking at, because I study my competition, and if I'm looking at a certain group of people, I'm like, I got to elevate past this low-hanging fruit right here. You know what I'm saying? And it may not be low-hanging fruit for everybody, but it's low-hanging fruit for me. I'm not interested in that. I don't think that that adds any value to you guys. It doesn't give you guys any insight on how you need to think differently or elevate. And so I'm on some other stuff. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Osriel, I'm over it. I'm over it. Y'all ready to get into the next thing? I want to go local, so we got to go Chicago. Shout out to Chicago. Shout out to Chi-Town. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. This is a very, very, next couple stories is going to be unfortunate and very sad.
Another breaking news update. A high school student and his rideshare driver were both killed in a shooting in East Garfield Park. Tonight we're learning about that young man. Our Victor Jacobo is live. Victor is being remembered as a talented basketball player with a bright personality.
Yeah, that's absolutely right, Joe. The community remembering these two victims. One of them, a 38-year-old rideshare driver. His name has not yet been released by the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office. The other, 18-year-old Demarion Johnson. People who knew him spoke with me today and tell me that they are grappling with a sudden and difficult loss. Chicago police say two people were in a car around 8:30 Thursday night near Lake and Holman in the city's East Garfield Park neighborhood when a gray SUV drove up next to them. Someone in that SUV opened fire, hitting both of the people in the car. Both victims, the 38-year-old Uber driver and 18-year-old passenger, were taken to hospitals and died. The 18-year-old, identified by the Cook County Medical Examiner's Office as Demarion Johnson.
This is rough for all of us, for sure. We're definitely going to miss his energy in the room.
McKinley Nelson is the founder of Project Swish, an organization providing basketball programming for Chicago youth to promote anti-violence initiatives. Johnson, who also went by DJ, was an avid participant in the program.
Like DJ, I say Project Swish was like a family girl. Like they look out for us.
The group paid tribute to him with this video on Instagram.
Super bright kid, super athletic kid, super competitive kid. He loved the game of basketball.
Nelson says Johnson was taking an Uber home after playing basketball Thursday when the shooting happened.
Let's talk about it for a second, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have a conversation, all right? And again, I know that this is not a popular subject to cover, but let's talk about it for a minute because it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking, and it's devastating. We take life for granted. We don't look at it as anything that we need to be focused on. We don't look at it like we need to value it more often than we do. And we got these 17, 18, 19-year-old people, and I don't know if he was involved in anything because it could have went either way, right? It could have been random. It could have been by mistake. It could be because they was targeting him, because maybe they got into a different, conversation with somebody. It could have been that they was targeting the Uber driver. Guess what the possibilities are? The possibility is that we'll never know. That's what makes it worse. We'll never possibly know. You know why? Because they probably won't catch the killers. This affects the communities so much because we don't have any recourse. We don't have any way to bring it in and fix the situation. Well, Anton, what do you mean by we don't have any recourse or ability to fix the situation? I mean, From the top to the bottom, the system is broken. And there's so many different reasons that we need to solve. But this is why I say we too busy. We need to figure out how to really fix the things that's in the community, because there's no one solution, right? One person will say, well, we need to fix our legislators, right? We need to fix the legislation. Okay, so you get a different mayor. The mayor is incompetent in Chicago. So the mayor is improperly staffing and can't manage a budget effectively, while at the same time running out all of the people that's actually paying the most in taxes that contributes into what your coffers, so that you'll be able to get more police officers and detectives on the street. Incompetent in that way. But you can't hang at 100% on the mayor, because you have to move upwards and blame the governor and blame the city council. You have to blame the legislators in Chicago for creating soft laws that allows for people to not only commit crimes and get out, but to feel more comfortable about the crimes that they're committing, because they know that nothing is going to happen to them, and they know that the police are understaffed. And then you go down. Let's go one layer down from the mayor, okay? When you go one layer down, now you're having a conversation about parenting, and where are the parents? Because whose kids is riding around with a pistol and switches and shooting up rat share drivers? So you then have to attack it from that lens. Then you can talk about the culture, because the culture teaches us that it's cool to do this, and you got to get your stripes, and you got to be able to live out your raps. And then you go historical. And so when you rewind from the previous governors and the previous mayors, and these mayors are doing more of what the previous mayors was doing, that ultimately led to the underfunding, because they were so busy focused on political agendas. And now the teachers can't teach because the parents ain't doing what they supposed to do, and the streets ain't safe, and then we not hard on crime, and the judges are compromised because the people pick for themselves and they didn't know any better, and then they turned down, right, the Trump administration from coming in and trying to make the city safer. And so if you attacking it and you looking at it from all different angles, unless everything comes together and people really get it and bickering and fighting about things that are not meaningful, because every day is one of these young people and young men that love what they do and join some organization and love basketball or whatever, and they jump into a car, or maybe they get hit by a bullet, or they get recruited into a gang and they become the very thing that we despise. Is messing up. Let me see if I can fix it. Give me a second. It's messed up. It's unfortunate. But I'm praying for the families, and
it's especially difficult, Nelson says, after Project Swish lost another participant to gun violence recently when 14-year-old Amari Floyd was shot and killed in the Loop in November.
I try not to let it deflate me, because it can be definitely a deflating feeling, losing kids to the exact cause that you started the program for. But we know we got, many more kids to protect.
Johnson was a senior at Christ the King Jesuit College Prep, and Nelson says the 18-year-old had offers to play basketball in college that he was considering, now lamenting that Johnson won't see those opportunities come to fruition.
And I hate that he was robbed of that. I hate that he was robbed of graduation, So there's definitely some pain in all of that for everybody on our team, but also, everybody that he cared about.
Police have not released any information about a possible motive in this incident and have not announced any arrests at this time. Now reporting live outside CPD Area 4 headquarters, Victor Jacobo, CBS News, Chicago.
Victor, thank you.
Whenever these people try to convince y'all that being lame is whack, being in the house is whack, that you ain't really in these streets, you ain't really from the streets, you ain't really from the South Side, you're not really from these spaces. Whenever they try to convince you of that, just try to remember some of these stories that I'm having a conversation about. Just try to remember. Whenever they try to tell y'all that y'all lame, hey, make sure that you out in these streets, hey, this and that, whatever, so on and so forth, just remember, Every day, somebody dies for not being lame. I was looking at a video of they was doing a review video of like interviewing people at the Kentucky Downs. I don't know if y'all seen that or whatever. They were doing a review video where they were interviewing people at the Kentucky Downs. And the people were saying what they did for a living. And I'm going to tell you, you know what the most common answer was from the people, which included young people and stuff like that. And they were grown. Some people was in their 20s and other people was in their 30s or whatever. You know what the most common answer of how they were running up their bag and how they was getting their money? You saw that? TM Speaks? Kentucky Derby, I'm sorry. The Kentucky Derby, Anton should have went there. Kentucky Derby ain't went nowhere. It'll still be there. I had to go and take care of my business. I had to go to Manchester. I had to go to Brazil. I had to take care of all of that. Yep, you're 100% right. The most common way that most people generated their wealth and their revenue was family money. You are absolutely, positively correct. My dad do this. My parents do this. My father owns this company. My mother owns this company. My last name is this, whatever, blah, 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 blah. And then when they would talk to the fathers and they would talk to the older people, it would be like, oh, I'm into boring businesses. If it's not a boring business, I don't want to be a part of it. Oh, I got lucky. Went into private equity, scaled up. That's the way that they got it. Most of the people, when you, I'm going to keep it 100% all the way funky with y'all. The two ways that people generate or live the life that they want to live, when y'all see these people and y'all see these white and Chaldean and Asians and all of this stuff, when y'all see these people and they live in these phenomenal lives, the top 0.1%, they got it from really two ways. The most of them, they got it from two ways, right? Either the money is passed down, right? And they all living off of family money, meaning that businesses was created and so they leapfrogged off of that, or some form of government fraud. Contracting, handshake deals, friend of a friend, let me recommend you, all of this type of stuff. The goal, let me tell you what the goal is in life. The goal in the play is to have one or two generations work really, really hard, and then everybody familiarize themselves with how to maintain it. Working hard is not for everybody. Working hard is for people that set and built the foundation. So the daddy worked hard. The kids are trying to figure out how to maintain and keep it. If you can get rich, the goal is to figure out how to manage it effectively. They don't try to figure out you got to work hard too. That's not what they do. They teach them how to work smarter, how to manage it effectively, how to have to learn lessons. They make the sacrifice so you don't have to work as hard, and you are supposed to have decent work ethic, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to necessarily work for 16 hours a day, 7 days a week. The goal is for one generation, one group of people to figure it out, and then everybody else like, you know what? We won. That's it. When the men work hard, the women don't necessarily work hard. They don't come through and be like, you know what? We got to work harder too. They be shopping and having a good time and taking vacations and doing all kind of nonsense that they ain't supposed to do. Some people do what they supposed to do. Some people don't do what they supposed to do. They life not supposed to. It's not difficult. It's not hard. It's not none of that. They understand the program. That's why we got to figure out how to get on the program. That's why you got to get you a girl that understand the program. You're not supposed to be sitting there whining. You're supposed to be sitting there trying to figure out, okay, how can we play this? Because this could be a play for a lifetime. Ain't you tired? Ain't you tired of bickering and fighting? That's a younger woman's game. That's a young man's game. That's not an OG couple's game. You ever seen older people? And I ain't even talking about like 60s or 70s. I'm talking about like 40s or 50s. Have you ever seen the way that 40 and 50-year-old people that have money move? They move differently. They walk different. Hey, baby. No. Huh? Okay. And you know what happened when they be at home? They don't be spending all of this extraordinary amount of time with each other. He like this inside of his office. She bring him some cheese and crackers and some strawberries. Hey, hon, I'm gonna be back. Me and your daughter, we about to go out shopping. Then when you finally see them at the family functions, they walk slower. They not walking fast. They pull out the nice car. They walk in chill. Hey, let me get your coat, honey. Okay, baby. Okay, baby. And they always cutting out early. They always cutting out early. You know why? Because they satisfied and they understand they won in life. They don't want to have no extra problems, no extra stress. They cut out early. They don't stick around. Hey, baby. They cutting out. They ain't tripping off of none of this, all of this stuff y'all got going on. All of this bickering and fighting. We figured we missed the plot. We missed the plot. Even when people is over there and they getting into it or whatever, so on and so forth, you know what they do? They stop in. What y'all got going on over here? That boy crazy. Everything is general. Listen, everything is general. People that have resources that won in life, that understand a plot, they start to get used to it. Everything is really kept in general. What team you like? Oh, you know, I'm old school. I'm a Pistons fan. I'll be right back, y'all. He ain't coming back. He ain't coming back. He not coming back. I do that all the time. Hey, hold on one second. I'll be right back. Let me talk to you 1 second. What? He ain't coming back. Neither am I. We not coming back. We chilling. We good. We slow motion. We trying to figure out life. And all of that bickering and fighting over there. I done already moved to the next table. We figuring out the next play. Trying to figure out how it is that we gonna move over to. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Jamal, what up, Molly Mall says, you are the only streamer talking about these topics, Anton. 80% of streamers that come in my feed are talking about race nonstop or some other random gossip. You have fun, but it always comes back to finance and being, well, ain't that the play? Jamal? That's the play, right? I always say you put the medicine inside of the candy. We gonna have fun, and then we also gonna hopefully learn something. That's the play. Let's get this money. Let's have a good time, and let's talk about the uncomfortable issues and figure out how it is that we can make an adjustment. Good morning, Anton and the Millionaire Morning Show, says P. Shank. What up, P. Shank? What up, Shank? Yeah. What up, P. Shank? All right, y'all. Let's get over to the next play. We got to talk about... Oh! I'm sorry, y'all. We got to go over one more tragic situation. Very unfortunate, but we got to talk about it. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. We're going to get this together. By tomorrow, we should be 98% there. All right? Let's get to it.
It should have been a week of graduation, caps, and gowns for a Rittner High School senior. Instead, a North St. Louis County family is making funeral arrangements. Jordan Lunar Williams was just 18 years old and just crowned prom queen. She and her mother, Cherise Fisher, were killed in a triple fatal car crash on Highway 367 Friday. In a 5 On Your Side exclusive, Melanie Johnson shares how they're now preparing for a final farewell.
And Kelly, the woman who spent years making sure her high school senior reached the graduation stage, killed right beside her just days before they could celebrate that victory together. The family remember more than just a prom queen tonight, but a superwoman who raised a ray of sunshine.
She's my superwoman. She's my mom.
A double loss.
But I've watched that little girl since the day she came out that womb, and she's everything to me.
Instead of cheering for that little girl in a cap and gown, Erica is now preparing to say a final goodbye. Her sister, Jordan Lunar Williams, and mother, Cherise Fisher, were both killed Friday in a triple fatal crash, and Bell found neighbors on Highway 367.
She gave you such a sense of hope, a sense of pride, a sense of security, a sense of just yourself.
Cherise recently adopted the Rittner High School student, crowned prom queen days before the crash. Jordan's favorite color, purple, blanketing the campus with heartfelt letters left by classmates.
You know, she stood out. Everywhere she went, it was amazing.
As the family prepares to receive Jordan's diploma at graduation.
And I don't want any of her schoolmates or classmates to ever feel like...
Let me ask y'all a question. And this is an honest, like really honest general question. I would love to know this from y'all. Do y'all pray when y'all wake up in the morning? Do you pray when you get in the car? Like, even if it's standard, even if it's like, you know, something that you just recite out of memory, right? I got a general prayer of when you get in the car, Lord, bless us as take us to and from safely, rebuke accidents, incidents, run us with the police, tickets, problems, and trouble in Jesus' name, amen. That's the general prayer for us, right? When you get in the car, when you're getting ready, when you're putting your seatbelt on, Lord, bless us we travel to and from, take us there safely, rebuke accidents, incidents, got to throw in a running with the police. That's old school. Now, I might need to take that part out because I'm feeling comfortable with the police. You know, that was way back in the day in the YN days. Lord, bless us we travel to and from, take us there safely, rebuke accidents, incidents, run us with the police, tickets, problems, and trouble in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen. And it's just habit. Every time I get in the car, it's the same thing. And if I get in the car with somebody that's unfamiliar, I used to say it under my breath because I'm like, oh man, I don't know what their belief is. But now, as I get older, I'm less reserved. I don't really care about what anybody thinks. We get in the car, Lord bless us we travel to and from, give us safety and protection, review accidents, incidents, runs with the police, six problems, troubles, Jesus' name, amen. Even if you in a car with somebody you're not supposed to be in the car with. We still got to pray. You know what I'm saying? We got to get to our destination safely. Regardless of what we do when we get to our destination or what we doing on the way to the destination, or maybe the destination is not the destination. I don't know. What I do know is that I still want to make it there safely. No matter who is in the car, we got to figure this out. All right? Lord bless us we travel to and from, give us safety and protection, rebuke accidents, incidents, runners with the police, tickets, problems, and trouble in Jesus' name, amen. Hey, did you say amen? Did you touch and agree? Where two or three are gathered in his name, there he is in the midst of thee. What am I trying to say? I'm joking, but what am I trying to convey to you guys? I'm trying to convey that you need to be in prayer, and maybe you mentioning Jesus in that instance might give you a little bit of insight on what you probably should not be getting into. I don't know. Maybe because then you got to push past the conscious in order to do something that you know you're not supposed to do. So now you don't got no excuse. But when you're prayerful minded is what I'm trying to convey to y'all. All jokes aside, when you're prayerful minded, it keeps you covered and it keeps you out of trouble because you don't do something that you're not supposed to do because you have to go through so many barriers and so many conscious thoughts to get to that space where you know you're going to feel bad after you get done doing whatever it is that you was going to do. And I ain't even just talking about busting down for a real one. I'm talking about anything that you're not supposed to do. You know what? I was thinking about going over to this spot. You know what? I ain't even interested no more. I'm about to go to sleep. Real talk. I'm about to go to sleep. I don't understand how people be getting in trouble out of the country. You know why? Want me to tell y'all how y'all keep yourself safe? You want me to tell you how you keep yourself out of trouble? Always have a partner with you. I learned that from the church. Early church days, we used to always tell the women, never go outside without a partner. And the reason is because you are more vulnerable. But as I got older, what I understood was the reason why they expanded it for all of us was because somebody had to have some kind of conscience on why we should be not doing what we supposed to do. So now, let's say, for example, you go out of the country for all of my passport bros, because I seen y'all inside of the chat saying, Anton, did you go and bust that? Why would I do that? I'm there with my daughter and my chick. Now, why in God's name would I go out hunting in a different country to pay for box? And I don't believe in paying for box, first of all. Secondly, I don't know what y'all STD situation is there. And third, I'm not about to leave my daughter in order to go find a little hoe. And I got work to do. My internet already messed up. I got work to do. So my point is that when you move in pairs, minimally pairs, in pairs with people that are actually valuable and want to see you win, they're not going to let you crash out. You do things differently because you're protecting yourself against yourself. Does that make sense? I'm giving you gems, and I know it seems small, but I'm giving you real life gems that you need to live by that will save your life. It's going to save you money. It's going to save your life. It's going to make sure you ain't got no diseases. It's going to ensure that you're not caught up and in jail in some place that you ain't supposed to be in. It's going to keep you from getting caught up with a hussy that you ain't supposed to be hussying with. Keeping it 100. And guess what? When you wake up in the morning, two things is going to happen. You're going to be so thankful that you got a full pocket full of money, a pocket full of sunshine, baby. Pocket full of sunshine. I got a full pocket full of sunshine. Never went out and tricked it off. That's A. And the second thing you're going to realize is, man, I'm glad I got a full night's sleep and I ain't need to be dealing with them little hoes anyway. Keeping it 100 with you. Keeping it 100 with you. 100%. This is an unfortunate situation. This is a tragedy. A real tragedy, man.
This is the end, because it's not the end. If you knew Jordan, she reached for the stars, so I want you to reach for them too.
For the driver police say is responsible, Erica is choosing to lead with the grace her mother lived by. Devin Doherty charged with 3 counts of fleeing the scene and driving with a revoked or suspended license.
Those tips that I just gave you, those weren't for the girls that got killed, for the mother and the prom queen daughter that got killed. That was for him. That was for him. Doing something, because doing something you're not supposed to do comes in a lot of different forms. Doing something you're not supposed to do when you're not supposed to do it ultimately is going to lead into something that's even worse. You're going to compound the thing that you did wrong, and now you can never get it back because they can't come back from the dead. Driving, it's a reason why your license is revoked. You know, I don't even drive in other countries. They say, yeah, you can rent a car in another country. I'm chilling. Everywhere we go on an Uber. I wasn't expecting this twist. This is a twist. This is something different than what I was expecting. I wasn't expecting for this young man to be the culprit, to be the killer. You see how they tried to lead that to the end? And they left it to the end because a lot of times when you look at content, when you look at videos, when you click this stuff, you don't watch it to the end. You watch it to maybe the middle. Most, analytics will show you that it'll start to drop as it goes to the end of the video. They talked about all of the good things or whatever, and then they just threw it up there at the end. Fleeing the scene after you killed somebody and you're driving on a revoked license. Bad decision after bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. The worst part of this story is not that he got arrested or they caught him or anything like that, or that the worst part of the story is the people that lost their life innocently. And this is why you got to stay prayed up, because it don't have nothing to do with what you're doing. Myron says, look, now we're going to make it a black and white thing. I didn't even know that we was talking about race. Now we're going to make it a black and white thing. This is why we can't get nowhere. Because let me tell y'all, bro, I'm going to keep it 100. You know what's keeping racism alive? Older people. Older people. It's not the younger people. The younger people are leapfrogging off of the older people. And the reason why we can't get nowhere, the reason why we can't solve for no problems, the reason why we can't really get to the core root of what degeneracy look like is because older people are stuck and hardened in their ways, and they're so caught up on race that it don't even they introduce it into a conversation where it don't have nothing to do with the conversation. Ain't y'all tired? Old school, respectfully, because I like to interact with the chat, so don't take it personal, but we going to have a real conversation. Ain't you tired? Ain't you tired, old school? What does white people doing it have to do with this specific double homicide crash, prom queen dying? What does that have to do with the price of tea in China? Why is this even a race situation? A degenerate is a degenerate. Y'all tired, bro. Ain't y'all tired? Ain't you a little bit like, don't you want to rest? Honestly, don't y'all want to rest? Don't give it a break. Don't be the dude at Thanksgiving dinner where they avoid you. Ah, man, here come old school about to talk about race again. We was just talking about football, big dog. I didn't know you was going to compare the white quarterback to the black quarterback. We was just saying that, we not even talking about the quarterbacks. We talking about the running backs. Ain't y'all tired? I would be exhausted. Honestly. Real talk. I would just be like, oh, dog. I know y'all wives, y'all girls, the people that y'all like getting it, like y'all got to introduce, you know what? You wouldn't be saying that to me if I was a white man. I know the girls be looking at y'all like, what? Baby, I just wanted to come and have a good time with you. Yeah, but you would be treating me even better if I was a white man, wouldn't you? Because white men talk to y'all all the time, and you don't ever say you just want to have a good time. You say you want to have a lifetime with them. Listen. I'm all for the race conversations. I love having them. But y'all have to learn how to introduce race type comments on race-based videos. I have no problem holding YNs accountable or going back and forth with people that think everything is racist. I have no problem with that. But it has to be applicable. It can't be for every situation is not racist. Prayers up for the family. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. They love it. White people is living rent free. Why you ain't see Chaldean people or Arabic people? White people living rent free in y'all head, and they like, we gonna be here for eternity. I know white people just be sitting back like, yeah, they love us. They obsessed with us. Even when we poured in them, they looking at us and saying, oh my God, it's a white man did it. Come on downtown. That on right there. Because they going to kill you in that town, right? I'm like, man, I'll kill you first. What you think they stopped making guns when they made yours? Like, I'm not. Who's scared of white people in 2026? In what town should we be afraid? Oh, man, if you go up north, they're going to have some what? They still got the KKK. What that mean? You think they stopped making guns when they made theirs? We all care. We all strapped. This is Michigan. It's a CPL state, boy. They make guns in Texas for everybody. They make guns in Michigan for everybody. They make guns in Florida for everybody. Who's scared? What do you think this is, a movie? What do you think this is, Cape Fear? You think we're going to be sitting there running in the woods, holding back? Oh, my gosh, no, those white people with no teeth is coming to get us. Oh, God. What do you think is going to happen? What are y'all? Are you still afraid? They's gonna go get us, and they's gonna have a hood on with some slits in the eyes. They're gonna come on horseback. Good Jesus, Lord Almighty. Got a race demon on your back. Make sure y'all hit a like for the algorithms. I'm just. Good gosh, bro. It's on fire. You saw that Wemby Ron Artest elbow them Sixers is dookie, and thoughts on CB Fallen song you never answered. I think that the song is good. I did not watch the Wemby thing. I was honestly, man, when I flew back in, I was focused on finishing the movies up for the live stream last night. And and going to pick up my car. I went and got my car. I hate to sound a little pretentious, but I will tell you, when you have people that are looking to hang out with you, find things, soft things that's willing to get in the car with you, and the car that y'all getting in got 907 horsepower, last thing I'm worried about is what Wemby is doing. And God bless Wemby, and I'll catch an NBA game when I catch it. Man, I'll be outside. I'll be outside. The weather didn't change, bro. That's a wintertime. Because, like, I'm going to catch it when I catch it, but I'm not going to catch it when I'm not catching it. I'll be out in the streets. Trying to recruit. Trying to figure out what the next play is. My dog, Mr. Lot, says, I remember in college I knew a chick on Dexter. At Dexter bus. And I used to pray on my way to see her. My check engine light came on halfway there one time, and I said, nah. Well, you see? God moves in mysterious ways. You charge me $40 for the box, but you charge the white man $35. Top Notch Rocker says, AD, good news story. Thank you, guys. Sterling Heights team walks away from crash. That Splitter Current 2 published May 8th. All right. Email it to me, and I'll see if if it's something to review. Tomorrow. If somebody is spamming the chat, y'all know how to give them a little bit of tap on the back. Time them out a little bit. Hey, stop spamming the chat. Teach them like a little kid. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what's happening and what else is happening in these streets. I got to give y'all an update on a hantavirus before we get into Spendcer Pratt. Give me a second. Let me see. That's 3. I want y'all to be aware of what's happening with the Haunter. They could have came up with a better name than that. Where's my Haunter thing? I know. Is this it? Here we go. All right. Give me a second. Let me make sure that's. Oh yeah, we don't have all of this. All of this is gonna be on 10 tomorrow. We own it. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's talk about the Haunter. All right. Give me a second. Let me update that. Boom.
Turn our attention now to the hantavirus outbreak on a cruise ship. We can show you new video from just a few hours ago. 17 Americans exposed to the virus on the MV Hondius landed in Omaha, Nebraska. That's what you're watching here. And one of them tested positive en route. A French passenger has also tested positive after being evacuated from the ship, which docked in the Canary Islands yesterday. CBS News foreign correspondent Remy Inocencio joins us from Tenerife. That's one of the Spanish islands of the Canary Islands. Remy, you got some fast-moving developments this morning. What can you tell us?
Errol, yes, absolutely, and good morning. Health officials here told us that none of the passengers and the crew, about 150 of them, had any symptoms whatsoever when the Hondius sailed in here yesterday. You can see right behind me. But now 2 have tested positive for hantavirus. This is according to the United States and to France, and we know now they are already back in their home countries.
Nope. I'm not going. Nah, I see how this is playing. It's already starting to spread. 1 person turned to 2, 2 turned to 4, 4 turned to 6. I'm not doing it. Or was it 4 turned to 8? See, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, 512, 1,064, 2,000. Now, we're not doing it. We're not doing it. Nope. Y'all may do it. I see how this is playing out. I see how they trying to do us. I'm not trying to do it this time. It's the summertime. We outside, bro. The only reason that I even considered it last time, because I was outside all the way up until the time that I wasn't. The only time that I considered it last time was the fact that it was getting cooler outside. Because I remember. It was the end of 2019 going into 2020. And I was downtown in Greektown. That was before the redesign. And I seen what was happening in the streets. And I went out there and I started interviewing people. And I said, hey, man, you afraid of the corona? And they said, I just got done drinking Coronas. It's the summertime, bro. It ain't even hit June yet. As of the recording of this video. It ain't even in July. We ain't even in August. It's travel season. You think I'm about to be shut down? Nope. I'm taking my chance. I'm winging it. Do y'all contact tracing, find out who the original host is, go ahead and find out what the cure and the solution is immediately. And so we can debate whether or not I'm going to take the jab again. I know y'all. Yep. See, there we go. Anton, I can't believe you took the original jab. Yeah, man. I'm just the only person that was willing to admit it. That's really what it is. I'm too honest for the internet. That's what the problem is. I show too many receipts. I document too many things. And I've been too honest with my journey. Where were we going? I'm too honest. We going to start going into circular conversations. Then that's the way it's going to be? Nope. Have y'all also noticed, I'm going to put my conspiracy hat on. Have y'all also noticed that this usually tends to happen? It starts to start kicking up dust around election time, election season. The last time it happened around election time, election season, they wanted to shut stuff down and start having everybody having their mail-in ballots. No, dog, we not doing it. I'm not going. Give us free. I'm not going. No lockdown for Time Dog. Who with me? Hold on, let me get my soundboard. I got to figure out how to get my soundboard back popping. He said, Anton, how much shots you get? Well, I don't know how much shots I got. I know how many shots I got. I think I got the jab one time. Yeah, I got it one time. It wasn't no reoccurrence. I never had any side effects. I never had any problems. I never even got like COVID again. I knew so many people had got it again and again and again. Never got it again. Daughter was cool. Family was cool. Friends, not so cool. Because friends, they had people in their family that had got, that passed away or whatever. But nobody in my immediate family, none of my immediate friends actually had, I didn't know anybody that passed away from the vid. Y'all think it's a pandemic? Open the 7th seal if y'all want. Y'all think it's a pandemic? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think so. I'm just trying to figure out what is the haunter. They forced y'all to take it in the military. Bandemic Part 2 coming to a hood near you. See, that's what people really want. Don't worry, we'll get into it. We're going to talk about it in a second.
Just before sunset last night, passengers from the United States were the last to be taken off the hantavirus-stricken cruise ship on the first day of evacuations, wearing masks and PPE, echoing COVID times.
Wait a minute, but are they going to blow the ship up? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying, what they going to do with the ship? Because they taking everybody off of the ship, and everybody is coming ashore, and they got their PPE. I remember that word. Remember that? See, you know what? Y'all tried to block this out of y'all minds. Y'all tried to block it out of y'all minds. I got in the elevator today, and it was a sticker that was so stuck that we didn't even take it up, right? And I got in the elevator from my building. I didn't have this building prior to the pandemic, right? And when I got back from Miami and we got back to normal and stuff, and eventually I went and got this building or whatever, I got my studio. And the first thing that I noticed when I came into the studio was there was a sticker on the floor that said 6 feet. That's what it said. The remnants, all of the different remnants are all around us. We just try to ignore it. We try to act like it's not a real thing. But the reality is that it was a real thing in our lives. Stop trying to forget it. I got into an elevator and it had the area where you were supposed to stand to where you were 6 feet from the last person. And then also on the sticker, it said, I wonder how much money they made from these stickers. How many people were able to get into the elevator? And we walk past it every day. We act like it doesn't exist, but it existed. It happened. It was a traumatic part in our lives. And how come nobody ever said that we needed to get therapy for being on lockdown? We all became prisoners of our homes. Video game sales skyrocketed. Everybody bought a Peloton bike, but they still got fat. Gyms went out of business, right? I remember the first day that I went into the casino, I went to Vegas. Yep. I went to Vegas and we went to the casino and they had these huge things. It was like plastic individual things. And so at the dice table, you can usually fit 4 to 5 people per side. So you can do 4 to 5 people on that side of the table, 4 or 5 people on this side of the table. And they had these dividers to where you can only put like 2 to 3 people per table. They had these big old plastic things where you had to be in your own slot as though that was going to stop us from getting the vid if we wanted to get the vid. Yes, Vegas was weird. Yes, and I remember because you had to wear a mask outside. I had to wear a mask. Was it outside or inside? It was outside or inside. It was something, I don't remember, but you had to basically wear a mask. And you was like, anytime you pulled up, you had to have a mask on, mask, and you had to have a mask in your pocket. And then they started selling y'all designer masks, and some of y'all was coming in looking like Bang. By the time I was able to see the light. They drop a bunch of bad movies. that they wanted to drop. Movie theaters was almost out of business. Everybody started streaming. Disney Plus came online. Everybody got a Netflix subscription. People realized that they didn't really like the person that they was in a household with. Y'all started fighting and bickering and fussing. People started breaking up. That's when you really seen feminism take off, is when everybody started getting the house together. Don't worry about it. We're going to talk about it shortly. I'm going to get there.
We caught closer glimpses of them as buses whisked them away to this specially fitted Boeing 747 deployed from Atlanta. On the ground here for barely 3 hours, then in the air on the way home. The end of more than 16 hours of evacuations after the Hondius dropped anchor.
Reach you loud and clear, over.
Passengers from 14 different countries
Yours is
in
blamed
planes
out,
prepped
Carmen.
for containment. Like these negative pressure biocontainment pods used for Ebola and the plague, in which 2 Americans traveled to the United States. In mid-flight, one tested mildly positive for hantavirus, a second developed symptoms. Health officials here in the Canary Islands re-stressed this is not a new pandemic. We asked the chief of the World Health Organization, Tedros Ghebreyesus, this.
What is your message to Americans who are still scared?
We have been repeating the same question, the same answer many times. This is not another COVID. And the risk to the public is low. So they shouldn't be scared and they shouldn't panic.
And there is concern out there that more positive cases could pop up as passengers from that ship keep fanning around the world. As for that second confirmed positive hantavirus case, that is in France. We understand that that person's case is rapidly deteriorating. Errol.
All right, Remy Inocencio.
Wait. He just skipped over that like we wasn't supposed to pay attention. What do you mean rapidly deteriorating? You mean he's dying? Hold on, let's back up for a second. You dying in France?
Positive hantavirus case, that is in France. We understand that that person's case is rapidly deteriorating.
So he dead. He dying. They gonna try to act like, oh no, listen. Heck no. We understand now that their position is rapidly deteriorating. So they're dying. That's what you're telling me. Don't talk about no rapidly deteriorating. What happened? Is his limbs falling off? Is he coughing too much? Is he confused? Did he lose his taste? That's what they told us was going to happen with the coronavirus. Rapidly deteriorating. Man, talk to me in English. Don't talk to me in no politically correct words when it comes to no virus. He dying out there. He in critical condition. They say he giving him 3 days to live. Is that what's happening, or is it just rapidly deteriorating? Nah, dog. Nah. I remember it was people that couldn't breathe as far as like smell nothing. They couldn't taste nothing. That wasn't my plight. At all. I went and got my Halloween hot dog costume. I went hiking. I went into the streets. I was just having a good time, man. I was just figuring it out. And eventually I said, all right, it's time to move out of Michigan, head to Florida where they still open, and spend this money. You know what I'm saying? That's how we was rocking. But a lot of y'all actually want this because y'all want to be a part of the pandemic. And that's really what y'all want. Y'all want that unemployment insurance. Some of y'all still getting arrested for PPP loans. Y'all want that unemployment insurance, that hush puppy money. Didn't a content creator just recently get locked up for that? And I told y'all, I remember the first time that this happened, and I told y'all, I said, hey, listen, chill out. Don't find yourself in a negative position. Don't take the loan. Don't take the loans. And the first time that y'all realized that y'all messed up is when a public list came out and they showed everybody that had took the loans. Then it was all the celebrities and stuff. Lil Wayne was on there. Lil Wayne had got some pandemic money. Chris Brown got pandemic money. Kanye got some pandemic money. See, they didn't know. They didn't know that the list was going to be public. And then they was like, oh, no, we paying it back. We didn't know. This was for the employees. Yeah, I remember. See, they wanted that to go up under the rug. They wanted us to act like that never happened. But I remember. That was the first sign that we knew what was going on. The second sign that we knew what was going on was all of the exotic car dealers started automatically selling out of Lamborghinis, Range Rovers, and Rolls Royces. And I was like, where are they getting all of this money from? So hold on, wait a minute. So you didn't have no money before the pandemic. It was people I knew in real life. They had no money. No money, not a dime during the pandemic. They showed up. It was red bottoms everywhere. I didn't see a shoe that this one dude had that wasn't a red bottom. I said, I'm no hater. I'm no hater. So I'm never going to like try to down a dude for coming up. I was like, bro, you got a second job? Like, nah, I'm working less than ever before. All of a sudden, they became gurus. I'm investing in real estate now. I said, bro, now is not the time to invest in real estate because all of the prices is out of control because people are paying over asking price because everybody working from home. They charging $100,000 and $200,000 over asking in some places in the country. No big deal to me. You know, just trying to figure it out, trying to make it shake, you know. You let me know if you want to come in on the deal. I was like, I'm going to pass. I had to figure it out. Everybody was buying homes and cars. Everybody had Lambos and stuff. I was like, where's all of this money coming from? It's the pandemic, huh? Pandemic money. Next thing you know, they start slapping the metal bracelets on y'all, and they wasn't Cartier bracelets either. They was some handcuffs. Woo! Then Biden passed a legislation said we're gonna make this a 10-year run. If I haven't caught you in the last 4 years, I'm gonna catch you in the next 6. I said I knew it. Lambos, when the pandemic money ran out, Lambos started getting repossessed. Dudes started wearing Timbs again. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, listen, bro, some of y'all was out of control. Y'all were out of control. Y'all had got that Trump money, that Trump check. You got the Trump check, and then you got your tax return, and you got your unemployment insurance, and you was out here finessing. And I said, oh, this is out of control. This is crazy. This is crazy. What they doing over here? Wait a minute. Wait. You didn't even like Ferragamo. You didn't even know what Ferragamo was. That was above your pay grade. You told me that you wasn't interested in Ferragamo. I started seeing all kind of Hermes belts. Everybody had their shirt tucked in so they could show me your belt. Man, if you don't put your stomach up. Yeah, everybody was a day trader all of a sudden. You know what? Forex. We doing Forex and day trading all day. Everybody became a crypto baron. No, dog, listen, we going cryptocurrency. We going this and that. Well, you know what I'm saying? Ethereum. No, we off of Bitcoin right now. We going Ethereum. Well, that's all we doing is ETH, baby. ETH, baby. Blockchain. Like, when did he learn anything about blockchain technology? What? That's all right. I'm not going inside this time, though. I'll tell you that much. I can start talking about blockchain. Blockchain? Hey, what do you know about blockchain technology? You hated technology. Yeah, you know, I've decided to make my way into it a little bit. Like, yeah, okay. All right. That's all you got to do. Listen, whenever you see stuff going a little bit out of control, just wait. Just wait. Because usually throughout the years from End of January, all through April. All of a sudden, what Drake say? Benihana's is pigeon food to me. And you know, man, I don't care nothing about no roof, Chris. Hey, man, what's up, baby girl? Hey, what we doing? We going out tonight? Yeah, money on me. Everything on me. Everything. That's why everybody was feeling some type of way when they was talking to me on Room 9 the other day, because they was trying to make it seem like I am the one that's disconnected. I said, no, man, everybody was spending money on this stuff. People been traveling. They was going to Cancun. They said they was moving to Mexico City and they was going to be staying there forever. Passport bros all of a sudden blew up. People were saying, we got money. Hey, I said, how come ain't nobody stacked that money? Everybody just got done. Pandemic just wasn't that long ago. Pandemic wasn't that long ago. They said, no, Anton, everybody is out here dusty. The cost of living is crazy. Yo, inflation, I remember because we was doing a show. It was on this show. Inflation was at 10%. Biden had inflation at 10%. I was doing a live stream. I said, man, this is out of control. I said, illegal migrants is coming over here. Inflation is at 10% and more depending on where you live. Housing costs, they buying them over $200,000 to $300,000 over cost. Y'all was like, man, we don't care nothing about that, nigga. You got it and spend it. Spend it. All of the conversations about having a high value man. Ladies was like, what can he do for me if I can't do for myself? All of the black women was like, we got degrees, keys, and B's. Because we Ebonese all day long, and we don't care nothing about none of this. Black forever. Everybody was doing, nobody cared. Nobody cared about inflation. Nobody cared about jobs. They wasn't worried. They was just like, we up on everything. All you had to do was wait. Patience, my child. Next thing you know, everybody was like, I got these cheeseburgers, man. Now everybody all of a sudden struggling. Everybody's struggling all of a sudden. Now everybody got a podcast. Can you teach me how to do a podcast? I told the bag chasers, make sure y'all join the Patreon. I told the bag chasers, I said, hey, y'all, just chill out. We don't move when everybody else move. We going to move it a little differently. I started buying land. I started actually purchasing land. That's when I started getting my bones together. Made a couple phone calls with a guy that helped me build the restaurant. He was 30 years in the game of building houses. I said, hey, man, what you know about building a house? Went over there, visited him. He gave me the blueprint of how it is that I need to do things. We started building houses. We started pivoting. Everybody else, man, this Anton don't know what he's doing. They like, dog, hold on. Let me go a bit further. I'm going to go to the next story. But let me get it a little further. Can I dig for a minute, y'all? Can I dig for a minute? They laughed at me because I said that I was going back into corporate America because I got a job offer that I couldn't refuse. They said, look at you, you're a brokey. Oh, I knew he wasn't a millionaire. Why is he naming his show The Millionaire Morning Show? You got a second job. They oh man, he going back to work because his first retirement ain't work. They was giggling. They were laughing. I said, okay, that's cool. You can't be a high value man. Millionaires don't work. They don't work regular jobs. They did whole live streams. He who laughs last I always, the long game, it's always about the long game. It's always about the long game. No pausing. It's always the long and everything. It's the long game. Now look at him. Can't survive without doing a live stream about Anton. Views dropped. Nobody checking for you, Otis. They took my whole blueprint. Had shoes in the background. I said, I used to put shoes in the background. I said, you got shoes in the background now, huh? Don't worry about it. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let me read some of these super chats. I gotta tap in with the people. You know what I'm saying? I'm more scared of black men before white men. Is that what you said? Okay, Eric TV, thank you for supporting the platform. He says, TS Car Wash and Detail Services, thoughts on the Kevin Hart roast? I haven't seen it. I heard he reconnected with Kevin Hart, though. We're going to talk about it tomorrow on After Hours. Shout out to Spaces. They took the Versace. Oh, man. Spaces says, just got my first assignment for my new position, flying out to South Dakota next week. By the way, Five Brown sent me the leak where the guy was explaining Tenet. Yeah, I'm even more confused now. Hey, man, they tried to tell us that. Hey, shout out to Guru. Guru last night on Frame Fights was like, man, I don't get it. I said, I don't either. Congratulations, Spaces, man. South Dakota is where you make a lot of money, but it should be really cold. Extreme weather. That means you're going to make a lot of money. High Tolerance says, good morning, Big Dog and the Chasers. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. Good morning, Big Dog and the Chasers. CW had a wild interview on Everyone Has a Voice podcast with the victim Olympians peep out the Bucks owner getting caught up in his ling. Crazy work. Send me that Bucks owner conversation. I can call Charleston on my own. Say JTV. Shout out to Say JTV. Say JTV says, what's good, AD? Been wanting to support the channel for a while, but I think I might be blocked on Room 9 for some reason. But keep on, OG. Why would you be, man? I'm going to go and free y'all again, all right? I'm going to go and free y'all just to make sure. I've been trying to free y'all, but I don't know how y'all keep getting blocked. AD, remember to check the ad that I made for you, says Dwight Bell. Okay. Okay, Hoyt. All right, Hoyt. Shout out to JP, the businessman, says, I remember when I joined Anton and I got a third offer I couldn't refuse. Yes, Wesley, we had trouble with Tenet. Again, make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel and turn on your notifications. What are we getting into next? Let me see what we got going on. We talked about the Haunter. Spencer Pratt. Spencer Pratt. I heard he made Captain Big Head drop out of the race. Is that true? I heard he made Karen Bass drop out of a debate. Not the race, but a debate. Is that true? Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Let's deep dive into it.
New this morning, Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass is dropping out of next week's televised Los Angeles Mayoral Forum. The event is organized by the League of Women Voters and the Pat Brown Institute for Public Affairs. Organizers have not revealed why Mayor Bass decided to drop out of the event. The forum will now only include the participation of Councilmember Nithya Raman, businessman Adam Miller, and community activist Ray Wong.
A Batman-inspired AI political ad is going viral, and it's stirring up plenty of talk.
Mom, look!
And And you can see why. Thanks for joining us here at 6. I'm Tony Lopez.
And I'm Marley Ginter. Well, that video depicts Californian politicians as comic-style supervillains, while former reality star turned LA mayoral candidate Spendcer Pratt steps in to save the city.
The video is also raising questions about the ethics of using AI for political ads.
CBS 13's Steve Large is live at the Capitol with that video message and how AI is really transforming campaigns right now, Steve.
Yeah, we all know now that the future of AI is really here. This video shows a candidate as Batman, an incumbent as the Joker, and raises the question, when is the joke on the voter?
LA Mayor Karen Bass portrayed as a scary villain.
Look, if you hold on. They got Karen Bass. Yo.
Governor Gavin Newsom as French royalty eating cake. And former reality TV star turned LA mayoral candidate Spendcer Pratt as Batman.
Yo, is that Joe Rogan?
And saving his city and the state from a comic book tyranny, all using artificial intelligence.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, I think it depends on your perspective.
Mindy Romero is the founder of the nonpartisan Center for Inclusive Democracy and says the viral video is easy for most voters to tell it's not real.
As far as we know, Spendcer Pratt is not Batman.
The video was created by filmmaker Charles Curran, not a political campaign committee, and Curran has not said who paid for the work. New California state law.
It's AI. If you don't know how to prompt your butt off, listen, y'all missing the play. I think that y'all missing the play. It's really two things to take from this. I don't care about whether or not Spendcer Pratt's ad is resonating with people. I'm trying to understand the business side of it. And so the first thing that I will tell you is people that are a part of the political establishment are always slow to change. They're always slow to adapt. They can't figure out how Trump was able to leverage podcasters and content creators in order to bring visibility to the issues that he thought meant the most to the people. They can't figure out how Barack Obama, because this is not even just a Republican Democrat thing. This has something to do with people that don't understand the culture. When you don't understand the culture, you lose, right? They can't understand how Barack Obama was able to leverage social media and the individual donor instead of the big donors to ultimately raise more money in 2008 and 2012 to ultimately take the seat. Now, of course, we can have a conversation about if Barack Obama was a good president or not, but that's not what we're talking about. A lot of times, people that are a part of the political establishment are slow. They're slow. They're just like the way that they legislate. They're slow to adapt. 1,000% slow to adapt. So I'm looking at this from a couple different angles. Number one, I told y'all to stop waiting for artificial intelligence to tell you how you're supposed to live your life, and you need to get ahead of it. You need to be subscribed to it. I did an artificial intelligence live stream way back inside of the Patreon where I was telling y'all in the very early days of it of how it is that you can leverage it and utilize it, and now it's become even more robust. Now it's just a part of our integration and our workflow. I don't think there's a day that goes by that in some way, shape, or form, I'm not looking to AI for some insight. I'm not leveraging it. I'm not using it in my workflow, that it's not a part of everything that we do. And so when people are sitting there fearful of it, you can be fearful if you want to, but there's going to be an adaptation, and usually you are always the last person to adapt. If I was a person that was working in Hollywood, for example, if I was a person that was filming or something like that, I would have already started to integrate this into my workflow. If I was a special effects, CGI or whatever, they sitting there mad at Hollywood saying, oh my God, I can't believe that we're going to be losing our jobs. You should have already been adapting. You should have already been adapting. Real talk. I'm keeping it 100 with you. I remember back in the early 2000s, I had put my face on my resume and people said that I was crazy. I put my social media, I put all of my social media links. I put Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. At the time, I also had put Facebook, and I had put my face on my resume. And I had reconfigured my resume, and I did it from a UX perspective. And then I also started leveraging social media to market myself to people. And anytime that I got contacted by a recruiter or executive recruiter or whatever, or a company, I always pointed them to my social media so that they understand who I was before they ever asked me if I wanted to come in and look at the job and the position. By the time I got there, they were already giving me the position, and it was really mine to turn down because they knew who I was. They knew my personality. They knew my family. And let's say hypothetically that I turned somebody off, or I turned an employer off, and they said, he's a little bit too forward with his technology or whatever, and we don't want, I automatically filtered them out. The calls that I was getting, and I dropped the video inside of the Patreon for y'all, not the last one with the Lambo, but the last one that before that inside when I was talking about Manchester. Watch that video if you are a person that is looking to level up in corporate America, or you're looking to level up in your job. You will never go. That combined with Interview Like a King, y'all will never go without income ever in your life. I was already on all of that way before everybody started popping it off, right? People still ain't on that type of time. They just got they social media stuff wrong. But we was already on that type of time before that because we were using it to market ourselves. I looked at social media as a marketing opportunity, right? As a way to get the message out, as a way to do this, a way to do that, a way to make more money and all of this stuff. And people always miss the plot. So now people are debating the ethics or the availability of AI, and Spendcer Pratt, for example, is using it effectively to bring that's all it does is bring visibility. And I'll tell you something else, but I'll tell you after this. Let's watch a little bit more of this.
Enacted in 2025 would require disclosure of the use of artificial intelligence in campaign advertisements under certain circumstances to root out deep fake deception.
The Spendcer Pratt spot is exactly what AI should be, which is using innovation and technology to make an interesting ad that is not trying to fool voters.
Republican strategist Tab Berg runs political campaigns and is concerned AI in the hands of bad acting political operatives can be used to deceive voters.
Where they've literally changed the words of elected officials who are speaking to change the meaning.
The use of AI in this LA mayor's race.
Did you know that wasn't real? And do you believe that it wasn't real?
Raising the campaign question, without the comic book fantasy of the Batman and Joker, would voters be fooled?
Now it's the Fair Political Practices Commission that enforces AI rules. They have asked the legislature for more money so that they can help root out AI. And they say they've gotten some allegations of misuse of AI, but so far no public violations have been reported.
Most LA voters for the first time saw a different side of the reality show villain that
what up, dirty woman?
Associate you with. Do you think you changed perceptions on that debate stage?
You know, I always have been an authentic person. People know when I was a reality villain, I was doing it to get paid. I was chasing ratings bonus. I was the youngest executive producer in the history of Hollywood. I sold a Fox television show, reality show, at 20 years old for $3.7 million. That was all a character. And again, that's 20 years ago. Since then, I've been a father to 2 sons, a husband of almost 20 years to my amazing angel wife, a small business owner. My e-commerce was at one time before COVID the #1 e-commerce jewelry site in the world. So I know people think I'm this, villain, but people who really have looked into me know that that was a performance, a character. And again, I would do all that again. It was an incredible job. Thank you, MTV. So it's not like it was strategic. I was working with the producers.
Are you being strategic now, or is this the authentic Spendcer Pratt?
I'm standing in my Airstream in my burned down house. So I'm being strategic to fight these people that have destroyed my life, my neighbor's life, all of Angelino's life. So yes, I'm being very strategic to win and save LA. But no, there's no strategy when you're standing in an Airstream on your burnout town. You can't fake that. There's no bit to that. I would much rather be in my house feeding my hummingbirds and have my life back. But that wasn't God's path for me. And so now I'm going to undo the harm these people are doing to a lot of people in the city of LA.
Knew this morning.
Obviously, he's going to win. Clearly he's going to win. And the one thing that we understand about the constituents of Los Angeles is that they love a good marketing tool. They love visibility and they love popularity. And he fits all three while at the same time also looking like a really good, viable candidate. He looks like he watched her in a debate. He absolutely destroyed her in a debate, right? And I seen somebody says, hold on, let me see where it says. It said that Pratt, a privileged dude with the effed up haircut. What makes him privileged? It sounds like he was smart in being able to sell, market himself, and run up a bag and leverage MTV at a time where he was his most popular. Actually, I think that other people probably should do so. Other people should do so. Yo, people are so caught up in how they feel. And that is the biggest problem with culture. That's the biggest problem with community, is that a lot of people are caught up with how they feel instead of leaning into what makes sense. The minute that you get out of your feelings, is when you will truly understand how people are able to be more successful. And also, it's so funny. He said, Dad is a rich dentist. I also find it funny and hilarious when people always counting other people's money as though you know what their situation is. You don't know what his daddy is doing. You don't know what his daddy has gotten into. And that don't necessarily mean that that translates over to him either. What y'all daddies doing? What you doing for your kids? What are y'all daddies doing and what you doing for your kids? Let's have a conversation about that. Everybody is always mad. I've noticed that lately there is a campaign against people that are successful. People that watch other people that are successful are bothered when they observe somebody being successful. And it don't even have to be financially successful. It could be successful because Spendcer Pratt is obviously winning over the hearts of the people over in Los Angeles, and he's creating visibility for himself. So he's successful in that. People hate to see somebody else winning at life. Then that's when they start to try to pick them apart. Oh man, his daddy is a wretched dentist. When you wish you could have been in the same position as we all need rich parents. Or you could be the rich parent that ultimately give your kid the opportunity to level up. I don't know, Mari, I don't know what the problem is with being rich. Why are people so against being rich unless they get rich? Most of y'all daddies ain't even around. You don't even know who your daddy is. And the daddy that you think is your daddy is not even probably your daddy. And y'all be mad at other people for having a daddy. But that's because you had both parents in your house. What are you, 3? That's something that a kindergartner would say. That's something that a child would say. That's something that they said in elementary school. That's why your daddy is worked at the plant or something like that. And they'd be like, yeah, that's what strong men do. They go and take care of business and provide for their kids. Oh man, your kid is gonna be a Nepo baby. Yeah, that's the goal. That was the whole play. That's why I had one, so I can pour everything I could into her. I don't understand it, bro. I don't understand it. I don't understand the hate for other people that are doing something great or successful. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's weird. It's the weirdest thing ever to me. You got shame for having both parents? It's crazy, bro. Absolutely insane. Man, oh man. Make sure you guys hit a like for the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. All right. I like this. I like this. I like what we did today. I like how things played out. So we got a foundation. We got our foundation back. We getting back into the swing of things. We figuring it out. We putting things together, and everything is gonna be all right. All right. So nice way to transition back into the studio. I'm happy to be back in the studio. I'm happy to be back in Detroit from Brazil. I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. My next destinations, all right, I got 3 goals. Number 1, I want to get back to Vegas before it gets too hot because I don't like 114 degrees. So I don't go to Vegas in the summer. I try not to go to Vegas in the summer, but I love to go to Vegas in the spring and in the fall. That's number 1. Number 2, I got to get to Memphis. Yep, I'm going to Memphis. And number 3, I strongly believe we got 2 locations because when it gets warm outside, we have to hit the warmer cities or the cities that usually are cold in the wintertime. All right. So we going back to Patreon meetups. Let me get y'all that one. We going back to Patreon meetups. All right. So next Patreon meetup is and I'm gonna give y'all ample time to be able to get yourself together. So don't worry about it. Don't trip. I'm a fan of where we do our meetups in DC. So I'm thinking DC. I'm gonna give y'all 3 options: DC, Atlanta, or an undetermined location. DC, Atlanta, or an undetermined location to kick back off the Patreon meetups. All right. So I'm going to put a poll. So we got 3 things coming this week. Actually, 4 things coming this week inside of the Patreon. Patreon video, live stream, another Patreon video, and a poll. All right. I'm going to let the bag chasers vote and determine when the next meetup is going to be, where it's going to be. And then we're going to go from there. All right. We got to hit some other cities too. Like we got to hit some cities outside of the main ones, outside of DC, outside of Atlanta. I see some people saying Nashville because y'all dissed Memphis. Cool. Forget it. No Memphis. Yeah, but I'm thinking the Charlottes, the Raleighs, the Tampa. We haven't did Tampa yet. We did Miami, rooftop. Shout out to our streets. But we haven't did Tampa yet. We did New York, we did LA, we did Vegas, we did Detroit. We haven't done Chicago for good reason. But we ain't did Cleveland, we ain't did Pittsburgh. You know what I'm saying? We ain't did Mississippi, Alabama. We going on tour this year, bro. We're going on tour this year. Ever been to Maine or New Hampshire? I haven't been there yet. San Antonio, New Jersey. I'm going to talk about the Swatch AP collab tomorrow. All right. I'm going to throw that on the docket. All right. So, great way to kick off the week. We back in the mix and we back in the stew. All right. Let me read some of y'all super chats and then we back at it tomorrow and then we're going to get it popping. Make sure y'all tap into the Patreon. All right. On X, you can see a picture of the plane engine. You can see blood, shredded up meat. It was crazy. I don't know how y'all watch that stuff. I stay away from it. Dirty Woman. What's up to my girlfriend? Dirty Woman says, hey, AD, happy Monday to you. Jesus Christ is King. Always and forever. Happy Monday to you too, my love. Inbox says, high tolerance. Bet. Super Chess got me broke says, when you coming to Austin? I was going to go to San Antonio first and then go to Austin. They're pretty close to each other. Only Just Commentary says Boston. Oh, Boston. I forgot about Boston. Ever since y'all got eliminated from the playoffs and y'all started having dissension between Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I forgot about Boston. Somebody said Cleveland. No. Oh, we love Cleveland and Milwaukee. All right, y'all. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We back into the swing of things. Normal time tomorrow. We're going to start between 10:30 and 10:45. I got a little bit pushed back because I was trying to figure stuff out. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.